We now know, step by step, how to solve any linear equation that we might encounter. Let's take a moment and go over the steps to solve any linear equation. Before we start, I'm going to call this a step 0. We do need to confirm that the equation is in fact linear. Equations that are not linear may require other techniques than the ones that we've talked about here. Once we've confirmed that the equation is linear, and we also want to confirm that the equation has only one variable. If there are 2 or more variables present, what it actually means to solve that equation becomes more complicated. So, once we've confirmed that we're in possession of a linear equation in one variable, our first step is to simplify the 2 expressions in the equation as much as possible. There are 2 kinds of simplifying steps that we might use. We can distribute to get rid of grouping symbols, or we can combine like terms. After this point, all equations will look the same. We'll have a number times x plus another number equals a number times x plus another number, and maybe some of the terms are 0. So some of the terms might be missing in our final equation. Once we're down to an equation that looks like this, if we do have non-zero variable terms on both sides, we'll get rid of the variable term by adding its opposite to both sides. Now, of course, our equation will only have a variable term on one side. If there's a constant on that side with the variable term, we get rid of that constant by adding its opposite to both sides. Now all that's left will be a coefficient of a variable, and so if that variable term has a coefficient, we'll get rid of that by multiplying both sides by its reciprocal. Depending on the actual numbers involved, the arithmetic may be easier if we think of this step as dividing. Let's look at an example where we follow all of these steps. Suppose we have the equation 3 times x minus 7 equals 2x plus 4 times x plus 5. First, we want to take a second and confirm that this is linear. There are no variables multiplied together, no powers of variables. We're never dividing by a variable. There's nothing weird going on. And the only variable is the x. So, okay. These steps really will get us where we need to be. Now we need to simplify each side of the equation. We have 3 times x minus 7 using the distributive property. That'll give us 3x minus 21. On the other side of the equation, we have 2x plus 4 times x plus 5. Using the distributive property gives us 2x plus 4x plus 20. And now combining like terms gives us 6x plus 20. Putting these back together, we have 3x minus 21 equals 6x plus 20. Now we have step 2. I'm going to put the equation over on the right, so I can write the steps on the left. As my next step, I'm going to get rid of the 6x by adding a negative 6x on both sides. So 3x minus 6x is going to be negative 3x. 6x minus 6x is just 0, so only 20 remains. Okay, so now we have a variable on one side. We want to get rid of the constant that's on that same side. We have a negative 21. To get rid of it, we want to add a positive 21 on both sides. we'll have negative 3x equals 41. Finally, we have this coefficient negative 3 that we need to get rid of. Dividing on the left and on the right by negative 3, we're left with x equals negative 41/3. Asking the calculator, we can't simplify that. This is our solution. If we want to check, we could do that by plugging into the original equation. So 3 times negative 41/3 minus 7 gives us 3 times negative, more parentheses, negative 41/3 minus 7, negative 62. 2 times negative 41/3 plus 4 times negative 41/3 plus 5. 2 times negative 41/3 plus 4 times negative 41/3 plus 5 is again negative 62. Those give us the same value, so we do have the correct solution.